Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my garden. Yaje here. Super excited because today I'm going to show you around the garden. So let's go. It's a super windy day, as you can see from my little windmill over there. It is windy, so pardon the sound quality, but I have things growing in bags and I have some growing in raised beds, and here is my sunken garden right over here. So we're going to start right from here. These are my fabric bags, grow bags, and a lot of you have been reaching out and asking what the size is. These are 5-gallon grow bags, and I have peppers growing in them. Here is Scotch bonnet, here is habanero, and then this one is, I think this is, let's see what this is. I'll show you. This is ghost pepper. Yes, bell pepper. This one I started from seeds. You can see some of my peppers are already producing flowers. It's a mix of bell peppers and jalapenos over here in grow bags. And then here, what I planted in here was what is this? Parsley. All right, so here's my parsley. This one, the Waterleaf, is just volunteering itself. Here is cilantro, and then we have Njama Njama. That's the big leaf boy and Njama Njama in grow bags. Rosemary over there, that's an herb, and then this is bitter leaves. This is bitter leaves, the bitter leaves, Vernonia amygdalina, growing in this bag. This is a huge 20-gallon grow bag, and I have a couple of stems in here, as you can see. That was from last year, but it's coming back this year. I also have some bitter leaves growing in ground. So this is in ground. I have a row of bitter leaves growing here. This is what is referred to as the boya bitter leaves. This one has a bigger leaf. Let me show you. See how broad the leaf is? It's also bitter leaf, but this is big leaf bitter leaf. Very broad leaves. See that? As opposed to that one. It's slightly different. I know you can't tell, but yeah, I have bitter leaves growing in ground over here, and some volunteer Njama Njama as well. This is all the Njama Njama. And then herbs. I think everyone needs to grow herbs. It takes regular food to extraordinary, okay? So I have thyme, and that's from last year. Thyme is very expensive, but then it grows very easily. See, this is thyme flower. Have you ever seen thyme flower? There you go. And then here I have oregano. Let me tell you about my little sunken garden here, that I have bell peppers, and these are bell peppers that I started from seeds. You can see I planted up to 8 of them in this space. I have 8 bell peppers growing in this tiny space. Then this is parsley. This is parsley from last year. It's still doing well. It's still doing well, growing in a fabric pot, a fabric bag. More bitter leaves growing in bags. So yes, you can absolutely grow bitter leaves in bags. So you see I have 3 beds, 3 big beds here, and they're all dedicated to my Njama Njama. That is the garden huckleberry. You can see this one is different from that one and from the other one. This is like really growing bigger than the other one, and I'm going to explain the difference to you in a minute. Over here is where I nursed the Njama Njama. I was just going to broadcast the seeds and then harvest, and then I did same for these other 2 beds. And if you've been following my channel, I showed you how I nursed and all of that stuff. But I later on transplanted the Njama Njama that's over here. So this is transplanted Njama Njama. You can see how spaced out it is. I tried to space it out about 5 centimeters. 5 inches. This is my measuring stick. So the distance between each one, you know, the distance between them is about 5 inches. And somebody thought that it was very spaced out. It wasn't. As you can see, it is filling up. So this is the Njama Njama that I transplanted. You can see the difference between this one and that over here. These ones are a lot bigger. Now granted, it is mixed up with, you know, this is callaloo from last year, volunteer callaloo, but there's also Njama Njama. See how big it is? So this one is ready for harvest. I'm going to harvest it today. It's my harvest day. But when you just broadcast in Njama Njama and you don't transplant it, you can get bigger plants like that. When you transplant it, because it's going to take some time for the roots to, you know, to settle in, and then before it starts to grow, you kind of like halt the growth process. Eventually it will be okay, but I'm just showing you the difference so that you know the difference between transplanted Njama Njama and Njama Njama that's just broadcasted. See, this one was just broadcasted. I did not transplant this one. See how big it is. And this is Waterleafs. I intend to grow Waterleafs in these holes, so just some inspiration for you. The holes of my cinder blocks. I'm going to plant Waterleafs in all of these holes eventually. But these are just volunteer Waterleafs. Once you have Waterleafs in the garden, you're always going to have Waterleafs. I don't need to plant any more new Waterleafs because the seeds actually just burst and spread all over. There's a bunch of Waterleafs coming out everywhere, as you can see. So these are Waterleaf plants that I'm going to transplant. I have different types of amaranth growing in the garden, just different varieties of the amaranth, and I'm going to show you all of them. See, this is a type of amaranth. I believe this is Lagos spinach. See the purple leaves? It's just absolutely beautiful. This one here is the type that we have in Cameroon. It's common in Cameroon. It's the green, but it's another type of amaranth. See, this one is different from that one. And then we have this other one that I'm going to show you. See this one? So this is also a type of amaranth, which is different from that one. People in Cameroon recognize this one. So this is what is called kalaloo. It's more of a Jamaican thing. And this one is that Cameroon green amaranth. This one has a more mustardy type of taste and smell. This one does not have that strong mustard smell. You can see there's something eating the leaves of my Njama Njama and also of the green, which is okay. If you're going to grow crops, you know, other things are gonna want to feed on your vegetables as well. As long as it is leaving some for you, that is fine. That is fine. So the holes I'm not very concerned about. You know, actually, if you find vegetables that are just absolutely smooth with no holes, it's probably been sprayed with a lot of pesticides. Just something to think about. Guys, just look at how clean my garden looks. It's thanks to the mulching. Okay, I've talked about mulching as a way to just keep your garden clean. So this mulch really helps. I always mulch my garden to prevent weed. I need to add more mulch. This is what I'm trying to prevent from growing. I did a video talking about the size of my garden beds. You can also watch that. It's on the channel. And the space between, that it needs to be accessible. You need to be able to walk freely. Now let me show you what I have growing along this bed right here, along the fence. Do you know what this vegetable is? Can you guess? This one right here. All right, this is what we refer to as war. In Limbo, it is cowpeas. So I planted some cowpeas. It is a quick growing crop. It looks like it's been attacked by ants or aphids. You know, all of these twisted leaves is telling me there's an ant issue still in this garden, bringing aphids. But that is war. I have the war going here. I also have bitter leaves. I have had these bitter leaves forever. It dies off in the winter, but come spring, it always grows again. This is bitter leaf coming from the ground. I did not plant any new bitter leaves. It's from many years ago. So it's mostly war and bitter leaves and that spinach going on over here. In the cages, it's just a placeholder. I'm not using the cage for anything. So that's what we have, and this is one giant onion from last year. More greens, water leaves, bitter leaves from many years ago, still growing. Now let's look at the fluted pumpkin or the UGU right here. If you remember, I had these bags way over there in my small space, my hidden garden over there at the end of the fence. But then I had something coming out at night and eating the fresh UGU. So I had to move the UGU over here. So let's see how it's doing. And I'll also share with you what it was that was coming out at night and eating my UGU. Just look at how beautiful my UGU is. It's doing so well in containers. So I had done the first cutting and fresh shoots are beginning to form, as you can see. So the thing that came and ate the shoots did not destroy all of it. I am super thankful. It's doing well. This one I did not cut the top. You can see how tall it is growing. So when you cut that top, which is what I did here, then all of these side shoots start to form. But when you don't cut the top, as you can see, no side shoots are forming, which is why it is important to cut that top initially so you can have several side shoots. But anyway, that's how my ugu in bags is looking. And guess what was eating that ugu? First, let me show you this one. This is the one that it absolutely destroyed last week. Thank God it is going to grow again. New shoots are forming. I just destroyed that one with the stick. Oh God, I just destroyed this one again. Should not touch it. Anyway, so there was something actually coming out at night and eating the ugu. And guess what? It was a rat. I have issues with rats. I believe it's because of this compost bin. I don't know. But I had issues with rats, and I'm taking measures. I'm taking measures to deal with the rats in the garden because I'm not about to lose my ugu. I'm just not. I already did a video giving you a tour of my seedlings, but over here I now have my seedlings, peppers, tomatoes, things growing over here. Different peppers, tomatoes, bell peppers, more Njama Njama in bags over there, okra, garden eggs. So that is another part of my garden. This side is dedicated to my in-ground fluted pumpkin. See how I staked it? This is called staking ugu. It's just providing a structure for the ugu to climb. I had to think outside of the box. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I did what I could. So don't laugh, okay? So it's my ugu growing in ground. I have about 27 of them growing here. 3 rows, and yeah, 3 rows and then 9 in a row. What am I talking about? 3 rows and each row has 9, so 27. Yeah, I have not cut this one yet. You can see it's still growing. It needs to be cut. I have a little issue with yellowing, but that's okay. I think it's going to be fine. Some are very green, but generally I'm going to give myself a thumbs up. I applied chicken manure here. When you apply chicken manure around the base, make sure you leave like 5 centimeters away from the base and then apply the manure around. Don't broadcast it. So you use the ring method. I applied the manure around about 5 centimeters from the base. So that's what I have, the chicken manure. And I think I am going to mulch. I'm going to apply mulch because this stuff, it keeps growing. Every time I come back here, I try to weed, and this is actually callaloo. This is green, but I don't need green growing over here. So it's weed. That's my ugu. Looking good. Hey guys, guess what? It's harvest day. It's the first harvest day, officially the first harvest day of 2022. I'm super grateful, super thankful. I'm going to be harvesting some Njama Njama over there on that bed over there. It is mixed in with some greens, some callaloo. So we are going to be harvesting. This is the traditional basket of my ancestors. I brought this all the way from Cameroon, and it always really connects me to my ancestors. When I harvest vegetables and put them in here. So there's going to be some ba and jamsu. That's some fufu and Njama Njama. We are going to harvest, process, and cook the Njama Njama today. Yeah.